All right. I do believe we are going live on YouTube. I'm just going to double check that. Hey, welcome to the On the Hunt podcast. This is episode 41. I have affectionately called this our Theo Riddick episode because Theo Riddick used to wear number 41 before he went to 25. But anyway, we have got all the fellas here tonight. We have got Nate Rucker. We got Bobby Bless. We got Reggie Funches. And I'm going to go in order of the fellas on my screen, which apparently is different from the ones that show up on your YouTube. But anyway, we're going to start things off with Nate Rucker. Nate, how's it going, my friend?
Man, it is a great day. Took me a nap, well rested. I got my tequila and lime juice. I'm ready to get to it, dog.
All right. Bobby Bless, I know you are currently sharing some things for us, and I appreciate that. How is Bobby Bless doing?
Man, I'm good, brother, man. Shoot. Getting closer to football, man. I can almost be myself, man. Even watching some preseason is gonna be blessing.
Therapeutic. Yep. Therapeutic. That's right.
Yes, sir.
By the way, Bobby's been trying to figure it out, so I must say it because Bobby was frustrated by it in the meeting. Bobby has a new camera, and it's like he has his own cameraman. It literally follows him. Like, Bobby, move. See, like it's following him, and it's annoying him because he can't figure out why it's doing that. So if you get seasick from episode 41, don't blame it on Bobby, okay? Don't blame it on Bobby. We also have got Reggie Funches in the house with us. Reggie, how's it going, man?
No motion, bro. Just got back from a family trip, family reunion down in Tennessee. So a much needed break. So shout out to the Scott Funches Elmore clan. Love y'all. Looking forward to the next time we're together. But for right now, I'm with my brother, so I'm good.
All right. Well, hey, we are glad to have you back. I'm glad that you had a great trip. You certainly deserve it, my friend. And as far as tonight's episode, listen, we got a little bit of everything for you. We really do. We got conversations about various specific people. We also have got a rundown of some of the schedule. We're going to talk about the 3 preseason games and the first 6 games of the regular season tonight. And I want to encourage you before we get started to like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, like this video. That really does help us out quite a bit. So if you could do that for us, we would greatly, greatly appreciate it. We're going to get things started with the preseason. So while I am kind of multitasking here, which I'm not great at, let me tell you what the preseason schedule is, okay? So our first preseason game is going to be on Friday, August 11th at 7 p.m. We're going to be taking on the Giants. Then on August 19th at 1 p.m., we have the Jaguars coming to Detroit. And then at 8 o'clock on August 25th, we have got at the Panthers. That's right. We're going to go back and try to get some revenge on those Panthers for what they did to us last year. But those are your 3 preseason games. We'll start with the Giants, and we'll start with Reggie Funches. Reggie, the Giants, obviously one of those teams that has been talked about quite a bit this offseason, maybe not for all the greatest reasons. What do you think we see from them, being that it's the first preseason game from them, and what do you think that we do?
To tell you the truth, it's going to be more of the same. They haven't made any significant changes on their team. Not to the point where I'm thinking that they're going to be much better than what they were last year. And then with Saquon Barkley going through what he's going through, man, it's just a matter of time for that to close, because they don't realize how much they actually rely on the kid, even when he's, he might be injured every now and again, but when he's playing, he's playing. So I'm not really too much worried about the Giants. So even in a preseason game, he's still gonna pop
him. Do you think he'll play? Do you think the Giants will play any of the starters or no?
I think they will. It's typically how it goes, for the first couple, and then they start running out, the kids and the guys that's trying to make the team. So I think he'll play.
Okay. Bobby Bless, your thoughts on that first preseason game? I know that you just can't wait to see the Lions out there on the field.
Oh, yeah, not only that, brother. I just, want to see that 9-17 finish that story. You feel me? Even the preseason count this year. I'm interested, like we talked about before, and they pleasantly proved us wrong. Just by working hard last year, we thought this team was devoid of talent last year. And the fact that these guys did end up being 9-7, and we did have a good, in my opinion, and we had a great offseason. So I'm interested to see these boys get to the next level. You know what I mean? And I don't say it like they say with the preseason, don't matter the score. I just want to see the boys look good out there. So, and I want to see how good these backups is going to be. Because, being that we are Detroit Lions fans, we all know that the backups end up playing in Detroit. So I'm interested just to see what these guys' name is when they hit the field, where I can have some kind of my own mental scouting report. And that's just a little preview of what we're going to talk about having our own scouting report today. Ain't that right, Nate?
Oh, yeah.
How important that is to have your own scouting report.
So
Hey,
Nate,
listen, they better get it.
first question of the night for you. I got to ask, what are you drinking, my friend? Because it looks like a big old mug of Mountain Dew.
No, it is Terramana tequila with lime juice and lemonade.
Okay. All right. So adult Mountain Dew. Got it.
No cold blue.
So Nate, on a more serious subject, obviously we're talking about that first preseason game versus the Giants. The fellas have already talked about it, but after you go, I'll go. What are your thoughts on this Giants game, this first preseason game?
The very first game is always what we got to realize is that everything we're going to see is scripted. So, you know what I mean? I don't really put too much into it until like that last preseason game, is because that's your tune-up.
Mm-hmm.
So I really expect to see the guys maybe one series, maybe two series at the most. And then we get into seeing, these other guys. Now it's going to be crazy to see who our starting running back is. Is it going to be David Montgomery? Is it going to be Jahmyr Gibbs? Because whoever starts is going to get the bulk of that first quarter headed into halftime. So fans may get a major dose of Jahmyr Gibbs, and they really get to see what he's going to be able to do. So that's going to be good. And then we're also going to get a chance to see J-Mo. So remember, he's able to play in the preseason. He just can't be in the regular season. So it's going to be interesting to see how much are they going to play him, knowing that he's going to be out for 6 games.
Good. That's a good one, Nate, because I forgot about that.
So
it's all right. I got your back, dog.
Yeah, you the man.
So my thoughts on the Giants preseason game, with it being the first week, I'm going to go on record and I'm going to guess that we don't see Jared Goff play in this game. I don't think we're going to see any of the starters in this game. I think because of the question mark that is the backup quarterback position at the moment, I think they're going to want to get all the reps they can to figure out whether the best handoff in the league, the meanest handoff in the league, Nate Sudfeld, is going to be able to keep that number 2 job, or if Adrian Martinez out of Kansas State might end up showing, hey, I'm here to play. Because remember, a lot of emphasis by guys like me has been on Hendon Hooker, but Hooker ain't going to play in the preseason. So we have got to see.
Hooker ain't getting no run.
That's right. That's right. The Hooker ain't working. Anyway, so anyway, Adrian Martinez, though, out of Kansas State, he's a pretty good quarterback. He's a pretty good quarterback. So I will be interested to see what happens with him. I very well could see in that first quarter of play a situation where you have, and I'm just going to throw it out here, at quarterback, Adrian Martinez, at running back, Jahmyr Gibbs, because I believe David Montgomery is still the number 1 guy until the regular season, but they're not going to want to put him out there and get him banged up for no reason. So Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be out there to, get a couple of reps in. At wide receiver, J-Mo, because why would you not take the opportunity to get him out there a little bit? And then at tight end, maybe James Mitchell.
Yeah.
And then you're going to see how that offense looks being run by Adrian Martinez. And I think Adrian Martinez stands a good chance to win this job. I know he's a rookie, but I'm saying I think he might win this job because he's actually a mobile quarterback. He can do more than Nate Sudfeld.
But don't forget this too. Brad Holmes don't got no problem cutting all of them either. So
right, we've seen that before.
He might.
You ain't lying. He don't
He'll
care.
cut them off.
Yeah.
He'll cut them off.
And that's why I'm saying I believe they know what they have in Jared Goff. They
Yeah.
know that if this team is going to be successful this year, it is because of number 16. So I don't think they're going to put him out there in the line of fire against a Giants, defense that might be a little bit more motivated if they say, wait a minute, they put their starters in, let's go. Especially if the Giants don't play their starters. Because then you got backup saying, look, I can get some tape against some actual starters in this league. I'm going to play up for that. So that's my personal opinion. I don't think you see the starters at all against the Giants. But I do think it's going to be a fun time because I can't wait to see Adrian Martinez. I know I haven't talked about him a lot, but I can't wait to see this kid. And I hope he takes full advantage of his opportunity because they didn't bring in Teddy Bridgewater yet, which means
Right.
they're going into the season with either the meanest handoff in the league, Nate Sudfeld, or they're going in there with Adrian Martinez backing up Jared Goff. So we'll see. Let's go to the second preseason game. We'll start with Reggie. Reggie, I feel like your answer is going to be kind of the same as it was for the Giants. So I'll ask you anyway.
Hey, but let Reggie put his spin on it. Though.
Yeah, for sure.
And make it worth it, man.
Jaguars. What do you think, my friend? That's going to be August 19th, 1 p.m. Jaguars come to town.
Butt cheeks.
But
Stupid.
Yeah, they about
Stupid,
to,
man.
yeah, they about to get a beating too. So more of the same, like I said. But the funny thing is, I do like a couple players from my fantasy team. Maybe I have a little more invested in checking out some their running backs. And to tell you the truth, man, Lawrence is intriguing to me this year.
He's a good quarterback, man. He's decent. For
He's
sure.
definitely a good QB, and from fantasy perspective, I might want to invest on him later on. But outside of that, man, more the same. Throw him a beating, get ramped up.
how much do you think the starters play in that game? Do we see Jared Goff, in your opinion?
We see Jared Goff, yes, but it's only gonna be a couple seasons.
Okay.
Because I know they want to protect him, but we also want to hit the ground running. And any reps that he can get with his guys against actual competition, even though it's preseason competition, I think it's going to work to their benefit. So I do want to see him playing, starting from game one. But
And hey, I might be wrong on that. He might play in game one. I might be completely wrong.
He's
on
gonna
that.
play. I think he's gonna play them all.
If it was me, I would not take the bubble wrap off of certain players like Hutchinson, Amon-Ra, Jared Goff, CJ Gardner-Johnson. I would not be taking that bubble wrap off until about an hour before Kansas City. That's just me, though, because I don't want to see nobody get hurt.
But to tell you the truth, I'm of the mindset of when you start trying to protect guys from injury is when they get injured. I don't know.
Yeah.
I always feel that way. I don't know what it is. So, let them play, let them get ramped up, let them take some blows, and move on from there. Because all it does is get you ramped up for that first game. So,
yeah,
about them getting reps.
So I'll go next here for the Jaguars. So this is going to be a little bit of a story, but then I'll tell you what I think of the game itself. So Trevor Lawrence is a player that I got wrong. Okay, it don't happen a whole lot to me, but he was a player that I got wrong, admittedly. And this was before we ever did this show. All right. But my issue with Trevor Lawrence was I felt like when he played in high school, he played for one of the best high schools in the state of Georgia. When he played in college, he played for one of the best colleges in all of college football. I think you guys know where I'm going with this. My question was, when he was drafted number 1 overall to the Jaguars, is he somebody who benefits from having all that talent around him and that makes him look good, or can he make the most out of a bad situation and elevate the players around him? My guess was he wasn't going to be able to do that. I also went on record, this is where I was right on this part, because if you remember, he was drafted by Urban Meyer. And I said, Urban Meyer is not going to stick around for this kid's career. I'll be surprised if Urban Meyer finishes his first season. So I was right on that part, but I thought losing his head coach like that would ruin him. So I got that part wrong. He's more resilient than I gave him credit for. And there's a lot of people that are excited about Jaguars football, which is not something that happens a whole lot in Jacksonville. I mean, they give tickets away in Jacksonville. So it's kind of exciting to see them come into our town. Obviously, you know, Jared Goff has everybody excited about the Lions, as does other players that we have. But it's kind of a same idea, two separate sides of the coin, because the Jaguars are excited, the Lions are excited. So I think there's a lot of excitement about this game, but I don't think you're going to see a lot of Jared Goff or Trevor Lawrence for the entire game. I think you'll probably see them for like 2 series apiece, maybe 3 series. It's one of those things where if Jared Goff comes out and in the first play, from scrimmage, he throws a touchdown, that's the end of his night. Like, that's kind of how I feel. Like, they're okay, you got a touchdown, great, get off the field. We know you're ready to go. Let's get in the other 2 guys so we can figure out this backup quarterback situation. But let me toss it over to Bobby. Bobby, Jaguars, week 2 of the preseason. What do you think?
I'm with Reggie with the fantasy perspective, because I'm gonna be in 2 different leagues this year. So I'm gonna have my scouting eye on me for that part too. But I just honestly, I think Jared Goff and them, just to piggyback off of what you was talking about, Big Dog. I think he's gonna play all the. I think he'll play the first 2. They play 3 now, not 4, right?
Yeah.
So I see him playing the first 2, and let him have and let the backup quarterbacks fight it out for game 3. You feel me? Mm-hmm. I'll call that the Brad Holmes Bowl, because they both could lose for real. But right. If they don't get it together, because he has no problem letting them go and then just picking somebody else that get cut. You know what I mean? Right. So that's that alone is going to be something good. And if I'm not mistaken, Nate, help me out a little bit, Big Dog. Martinez is kind of small, right? He's a short quarterback, right? No, he ain't around. But
Nate has his cloak of invisibility on. But let me.
Okay. Make it like, I don't think he's too big. I don't know. I haven't really seen him, so I'm interested to see him. But as far as that's really much. I don't really put too much weight into the preseason, but more of what I said the first time. But for me, it's just quicker. It's just getting closer and closer to the damn football season. And the new Madden come out that day, so I'm gonna be football anyway.
So he is actually 6'2", 220 pounds. That's Adrian.
Oh, that's not that big. That's not that little.
Right. So
that alone is intriguing, because if that, you know what I mean, because he could be so much of a dominant weapon, as you would say, Elijah, that he could be our like Taysom Hill, and our guy Campbell, and Glenn, they already used to that kind of carrying on anyway. So that is something to look for. So even though he might not be the quarterback, he can get cut and have a spot on his roster. Honestly,
and I'm telling people right now, I mean, Adrian Martinez is no bum, and I know that we talk about Hendon Hooker a lot on this show, as we should. But I'm just telling you, Adrian Martinez might become a fan favorite. He might become a fan favorite this preseason, depending on if he brings it, which I hope he does. I hope all these guys do, because I can't imagine being in a position where every day you could lose your job based on one incomplete pass or, one inconvenient, interception. You know what I mean? That's a lot of stress. So
you're about to lose your job. Yeah, you're about to lose your job.
Okay, so Nate Rucker, you haven't gone yet, my friend. Jaguars, what do you think?
I think this game you may see these guys again, maybe 2 series at the most. I think this game, since we're most likely going to see Jahmyr Gibbs in the first one, this game we're probably going to see more Martinez, more Sudfeld battle. And then at the running back, I think we're going to see Mo Abraham.
Okay. Yeah, we haven't talked about him a lot either. That's a good one.
So I think we're really going to see a lot of him, a lot of Denzel Mims in this Jaguars game as well. And then it's going to be interesting to see how these guys are going to do against, the second and third guys of the Jaguars, the Pascals, the Houstons, Broderick Martin, will Levi play? Will we see Levi this preseason? So that's big. And then I also want to see the development of our linebackers, because what we do know Jacksonville does is they use the tight ends and running backs a lot. So our linebackers will be in coverage. And I want to see how, as me and Bobby, listen, we be killing them linebackers, boy. They better be able to cover.
Yeah.
So we gonna look and see what's going on.
They better tackle quick too. If you can't, you better tackle them quick.
Last year they followed the Gen Z way of tackling. I don't know if you guys have heard about this or not, but the Gen Z way of tackling is to lower yourself into position, wrap your arms around the person, ask for consent. May I tackle you? If they say no, let them go. Okay. If they say no, let them go. That's how we were running defense the first 7 weeks last year. But anyway, I definitely get what you're saying, Nate. And I'm curious to find out, what defense are we running? Are we running a 4-2-5? Are we running a 4-3? What are we doing now? Because I feel like maybe that 4-2-5 was not something that, we ran because we wanted to, but maybe we ran it because we had to, based on the athletes we had. Because now that they got Jack Campbell, man, they're talking like, oh, we can have 3 linebackers out there.
Yeah, but I've also seen where it's been Jack and it's been Alex out there as the linebackers.
Mm-hmm.
So they still been running the 4-2-5. One thing about that they, as we'll get into it later on in the show, is that one of the traits of Jack Campbell, they talk about his downfield bursts when attacking the football. So, it's they may roll with it. Rodrigo did a very good job. 6th round pick, came in, took the team by storm. He's a little bit short compared to Jack Campbell. Jack Campbell, who has more range, better hands, better coverage. Rodrigo is more of a thumper, though. Yeah. So it's just going to be interesting to see, how they play. And then they talked about the emergence of Derek Barnes, who maybe has finally arrived, who has that prototypical size and speed. It was just, hey, would his physical attributes catch up with his brain? Can you progress and process information fast enough? Can you read and react fast enough? Like he's got all the tools. He's got the speed. He's got the blitzing ability, as we've seen against Green Bay. His best game was against Green Bay. He had Aaron Rodgers, him and Kirby Joseph had Aaron Rodgers out there like a guppy out of water. So, he blew up Aaron Jones. He blew up A.J. Dillon. He
was a demolition man that night.
Too. Hey, listen, he was out there like a helium tank. No homo, but he was blowing everybody up.
Oh, my God. Oh, and if you just joined the show, welcome to Sex Talk with Nate Rucker. I'm just kidding.
Hey, listen, this is how, listen, Reggie wasn't even paying attention. Let's see his whole head say, what?
Getting Naughty with Nate is a new podcast.
Hey, Nate, Nasty Nate.
Nasty Nate.
You know it.
Nasty Nate.
Somebody now. Sign up.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's get it back on the rails here, fellas. So we're going to move on to the next game that apparently is going to be played in the junkyard. That's right. They got nails on their field. They got knives on their field. Yeah, it's one of those type of games. At the Panthers. That's going to be August 25th at 8 p.m. We're going to start things off with Bobby Bless. Bobby, I don't think we'll see gloves, but what do you think?
We ain't going to see no damn gloves.
Hey, I think, I'm going to be interested to see, by that last preseason game, everybody got that unsung hero underdog guy. I wonder who that's going to be this year, because they got rid of old Tom Kennedy, didn't they? Or they brought him back, or what's up?
Hey, Tom Kennedy's like the hurt. You get rid of him, but he keeps coming back.
Yeah. So they got rid of old Tom. They got rid of my old boy, old Tom Kennedy, man. So I'm kind of interested to see who's gonna be the unsung hero. We're gonna call it the ZZ Award, the preseason MVP, the ZZ
Not
Award,
the
the
ZZ
ZZ.
Award.
Yeah, the
We're gonna call
ZZ.
it the
Who is
Happy
the Z?
Feet.
Oh, the Happy
We're gonna
Feet.
call it the Happy Feet Award.
Yeah, who is Happy Feet this year? No, but make a long story short, we always got a guy that we all want to make the team. There's always gonna be a guy, because you believe it or not, for some of them guys in that last game, it might be their last opportunity to play professional football. And the way it looking with these running backs, it might be one of them more than likely. So that's gonna be good. I'm betting. I keep forgetting about Abraham. That's the Minnesota kid that was hurt, right? I forgot
Yes,
about
it
him.
is.
So I'm interested. I hope he that guy. You know what I mean? Because I would want to see that. Because when that's gonna be, like I said, that's the game. Usually that'd be the preseason rehearsal one, but now that's the
That's the finale.
say your football career, like, so that always be interesting game. It's not, like I said earlier, about it don't matter what the score, you're gonna see guys giving they all, and come to the NFL, it's not, guys don't always give they all, but they definitely will. You can bet on it. That last preseason game, it's gonna be guys giving their blood, sweat, and tears just to wear that jersey. So I'm interested to see that.
So Reggie, we got the Brad Holmes Bowl, as Bobby Bless was calling it. At the
Well,
Panthers. What do you think? What do you think, Reggie?
Here, you say it one more time, bro.
He called it the Brad Holmes Bowl.
The Brad Holmes Bowl.
yeah, because he gonna do his cutting, big dog.
Trying to figure out who gonna get 86.
Yeah, right.
I'm curious to see Muhammad.
Yeah, me too.
What time he gets. Because to tell you the truth, you got Craig Reynolds. I know I think they just gave him an extension. Or they just resigned, one of the two.
Okay.
But I think, he'll be fighting. He's still gonna be fighting for his job. Because Muhammad is a beast, man. The kid is a load. No homo.
Y'all so sad. Y'all so stupid today, man. Lord have mercy.
It ain't even me this time. That's what's great. I've apparently rubbed off on Nate and Reggie. No homo.
A little bit too much, man.
Whoa. You ain't rubbing on me. No, you not.
No, come on, Pastor Nate. Let's go.
Yeah.
Elijah, you somewhere involved. Somewhere.
Oh, man.
Somewhere involved,
Right.
man.
He goes from hooking to rubbing on people.
Yeah, hell yeah. You
I'm gonna have to hit that button that says "not for kids." Like one time, we're gonna have a family-friendly episode. Damn it!
You a repeat offender, brother. You a repeat offender.
Between you and Bobby, man, we ain't gonna never get a.
Listen, we're gonna start the Blazing with Bobby Bless podcast. I'm
We ain't
telling
gonna never get a PG rating.
you.
No, not really.
So Nate,
I can't help
at
it,
the
man.
Panthers,
Though.
what do you think?
I think it's the dress rehearsal. So they may play up to halftime. Like I said, this is going to be their dress rehearsal game. Depending on how they look, are they in sync? You may see them maybe do the first series of the third quarter, depending on, like I say, depending on if they're in sync or clicking or not. That may be a game where you don't see J-Mo at all, because again, he's going to be out. So it's like, hey, let's get everybody else, as many reps as possible as we can for this tune-up. So I think J-Mo is going to be J-Mo heavy the first and second game. Third game, I expect to see Khalif Raymond, Amon-Ra, Josh Reynolds, our mainstay guys. And then,
so what's gonna be the preseason rehearsal though? They always got that rehearsal game. You think that's gonna be the last game?
Yeah, that's normally the last game. The last game is normally that dress rehearsal. And especially, hey, you're only doing 3 games. You've got 3 games, and then this is the crazy part. For the guys that's really trying to make this team, you really only have 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, there's 1 cut. It's not like the previous years where you started out the camp with 100 guys, and then it went from 100 to 79, from 79 to 64, from 64 to 53. It's not that anymore. It's like, hey, by this third game, after this game, you need to be cut. You have to get your guys down to 53. So for the guys that are undrafted, guys that are, really, really fighting, they're going to be auditioning for the practice squad, because again, you're not just auditioning for these coaches, you're auditioning to be, make it to another team. So it's going to be tough, but they got to balls to the wall.
So just briefly, my thoughts on the Panthers game. I think it'll be interesting. I want to see Bryce Young's command of the Panthers offense, because he is going to be the starting quarterback for the Carolina Panthers, which means that we are going to play him not that long after we play them in the preseason. So I want to see.
Oh, they ain't gonna show shit. They not gonna show shit. They
might not. They might not. But what I'm talking about is not formations. I'm not talking about formations and plays. I'm talking about command of the offense. Does he look like he knows what he's doing out there, or is he consistently checking with the sideline or looking unsure of himself?
Yeah,
that's what
I'm for Aiden Hutchinson, because the last time they played, Aiden tore that ass up.
Well, and like I said, we might see a repeat of that. We'll find out. But I'm curious to find out how far along is Bryce Young in his development. Obviously, they like the kid.
My bad. Sorry, guys.
but I want to see what happens in that preseason game. How much does he play? What is his command of the offense? Because I'm really not worried about us. Like, to be perfectly honest, I'm not worried about us in that game. But I am curious to find out about the Panthers and what are we going to be up against this season with them? Because last year they ran the ball super well.
They got Deuce over there. So Deuce has a lot of knowledge about scheme-wise and what Aaron Glenn likes to do and what our defense likes to do. So that's going to be big as well. Yeah, he might be a running back coach. Well, he's their assistant coach. Their running back and assistant coach. So he has a lot of intimate knowledge, man, about what the Lions like to do and Dan Campbell's coaching philosophy. So it's good that's going to be imperative, really not to show too much, because you're going to see him in the regular season. So that's going to be a good chess match, I would say.
Before we get to the regular season, couple things. Number one, please like, comment, and subscribe. We would love that. We would really appreciate that. It helps us out more than you guys know. Even if you're somebody who's like, listen, I'm not going to subscribe, but I tune in every single episode, hey, that's your choice. But like this video for us, okay? Like this video. I would greatly appreciate that. I know the fellows would echo my comments there. We do want to say good evening to comedian Shay B, who said, hey, family. Also, August 7th is a few days away. And Alante King put some Lions emojis in there as well. We got 6 people watching right now, which is nice to see. So thank you very much for that. Again, like this video for me, please, please, please. Last bit on the preseason before we move into the regular season. It's got nothing to do with Detroit Lions, but give me 2 minutes here. Okay, give me 2 minutes. So this Thursday is the Hall of Fame game.
Yeah.
Everybody that I know, okay, is probably going to watch this thing because it's the first football game of the season. So you might tune in for a little bit. But then there's a lot of people that I know that as soon as you see Aaron Rodgers and Deshaun Watson aren't playing, you're going to tune out, because why do I want to watch all these other guys? Let me give you a couple of players in this game that I think have a lot to gain or lose based on how they play Thursday night. First up, New York Jets quarterback Zach Wilson. I think this goes without saying, okay? It goes without saying. This preseason for him is his job interview for the other 31 teams, because there ain't no way in hell that boy is going to ever start again for the New York Jets as long as Aaron Rodgers is healthy. And even if he's not healthy, they'll will his ass out there to not have to play Zach Wilson, okay? But my point is, this is his opportunity. We've heard a lot about him and maybe him starting to develop a little bit better. He's got to show it, okay? He's got to show it. We have seen former Jets quarterbacks revive their careers later on down the road. Look at Geno in Seattle. But if he can show something this preseason, he might end up getting himself a starting gig somewhere else based off of that. But we'll see. But he's got a lot to lose this preseason, Zach Wilson does. So I would expect him to be playing his best football or attempting to Thursday night, especially in front of a national TV audience like they will have on NBC. On the other side of the field, it will not be Deshaun Watson. He is not playing in this game. It is going to be Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Now, you guys know from our scouting days,
DTR.
I love this kid. Okay, I love this kid. I love what he did at UCLA. I think part of the reason why he was not drafted higher is because of the fact that he played in a Chip Kelly offense, and a lot of people viewed that offense as a gimmick. But let me tell you something, okay? One of the best quarterbacks to ever do it for UCLA was Troy Aikman. He was there for 2 seasons. Obviously, DTR played longer than that for UCLA, so his numbers are going to be a little bit better anyway because he had more opportunities to do it for UCLA. But he actually doubled the numbers that Troy Aikman did. Aikman threw 5,000 yards at UCLA. DTR threw for 10,000 yards, 88 touchdowns, and he ran for 28 more. Okay.
Yeah, he was the ball.
I'm not saying that he's going to challenge Deshaun Watson because I don't think that's the situation. They got too much money wrapped up in Deshaun Watson to go with anybody else at this point. But for DTR, this is kind of a job interview for those 31 other teams. Yes, he is a rookie, but hey, we've seen it before where teams get an offer they can't refuse, and all of a sudden that rookie ends up playing for somebody else. Okay. So for DTR, this is a big deal for him. I hope he balls out because I think he is a great quarterback, and I'm really hoping that, it's not a gimmick. I hope it's not a gimmick, but I think his years on task, all those stats he, got throughout those years at UCLA, he didn't just do that by mistake. And I think if they would have beat USC last year, which was a great game, by the way, if you haven't seen that, go watch that. It was a great game, great shootout between him and Caleb Williams. If UCLA would have been able to pull off that victory, I think we would have probably seen DTR get drafted higher. Last player that I wanted to mention for this game, there's so many that you could really watch, and I would encourage you to watch them because these are all guys fighting for their livelihoods, which to me is entertaining. But the last guy I want to talk about is actually a Jets tight end. He was a wide receiver turned tight end. He's not going to start for the Jets, but you got to watch out for this kid. EJ Jenkins, 6'7", 240 pounds. He played at South Carolina, then he played at Georgia Tech last season. Georgia Tech last season played 4 different quarterbacks. That wasn't really a fair shake for him.
He also played basketball too, don't forget.
And he also played basketball as well. I'm thinking, okay, we've already seen it in the past where Darren Waller was a wide receiver, got turned tight end, and now he's playing for the Giants, and he's like considered one of the best in the league outside of Kelsey. I think EJ Jenkins could end up being a star in this Jets offense for Aaron Rodgers because of his height and because of the way that he's able to, kind of win those 50-50 balls. But he's got to show it out there with Zach Wilson as his quarterback. So I don't know how that's going to go. We know CJ Uzomah is going to be their starter, but I could see EJ Jenkins fighting for that second spot. Watch out for him, number 49, tight end for the Jets.
The only thing about that is Aaron Rodgers has a history of ignoring his tight ends.
Yeah.
So CJ
or getting them killed. Where's Michael Kennedy? He got him killed.
Yeah. I mean, but that's like the last line. But like, really, when you think about the tight ends they have, he really does not from Tunyon to Mercedes Lewis, Jimmy Graham, all of them. Like he's never really been a big tight end guy. He's always had good outside guys, and he'd rather dump it off to a running back before throwing a 50-50 ball. That's just not who he is. Now Stafford, yes, but Rodgers.
But if EJ can go out there with Zach Wilson, who does throw to tight ends, if he can show enough, he could get a second place on this roster and maybe be able to, get that into getting somewhere else. But I'm just saying, watch out for him because you can't miss him. He's 6'7", but Zach Wilson will find a way. Where there's a Wilson, there's a way, right? But we'll find out. But again, those are a couple players to watch in that Thursday game. I've been seeing a lot of comments though of people being like, I'm not going to watch this. Why watch this? All this other stuff. Listen, it's the first game of the season.
Everybody's going to watch the first game. We're all football drunk. Like we need, like everybody needs some football right now.
So let's get into the regular season. Okay. We're going to go through the first 6 games here. We're going to go through them kind of quick because we got a lot to get to on tonight's show. And we appreciate you watching. Hey, if you disagree with us, let us know. If you agree with us, let us know in that comment section below. We appreciate it. Let's start off with at the Chiefs. Okay. At the Chiefs, everybody knows that's the first regular season game of the year. I guess my question is, we talked about this a few months ago prior to the draft. Now we're talking about it again. Reggie, what has changed for you over the course of this offseason and your feeling about this game? And if you are so daring, prediction.
Turn this water off. To say the truth, we have what's needed to beat Kansas City. Because with them, you got to control the flow of the game, which means you got to be able to work the ball. The offense has to stay on the field for long stretches to keep Mahomes off. And with us having a top 5 offensive line, with us having the running backs that we do, with us having the weapons that we do on offense, this would be one of those games where I just want to see us control the ball. And, with the way things are, this could be Goff's coming out party.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of neutral on Goff. I'm not a huge fan. He just is what he is to me. But this could be a game where he could make me a believer. Because that's what's going to be needed in order to beat a team like Kansas City. Now, the game to jump on Kansas City is the first game. That's any team that's, like if there's a time to beat somebody, it's going to be on their first game, when they kind of maybe looking at us as a beatable team, a team that they should beat, somebody they just cast to the side. So, one of those situations where, like I said, you control the ball, Goff makes the timely throws that's needed. This is possibly a game that they can win. But because I don't really trust Goff, I'm actually going to say we lose the game. High scoring game, 37-30.
Okay. Bobby Bless, you look mad. You look mad, my friend.
No, I was listening to him. I was giving him my undivided attention. But make a long story short, I'm eager to see all that money in the secondary get used. If it was worth it, it's gonna be. If you do good against Patrick Mahomes secondary, I think you got your money's worth, right? So that too, and I'm interested to see who is the guy that's gonna be the rah-rah guy on that offense, man. Because with C.J. Gardner-Johnson on the defense, who is the guy that's gonna spark, be that Jamal Williams role, because like he was saying, you got to be some dogs. We some dogs, you feel me? So who the new dog? And I want to see what the hell they was doing all off season. We didn't find out we was playing Kansas City yesterday, so we knew what we was gonna do. So hopefully, all what we doing in the off season is gearing towards to that victory over Kansas City. So I think we're gonna win. I don't even know no damn score. And I added caveat to throw in there just for full disclosure. My goal is just not to be drunk before kickoff because this is a late game. I don't work tomorrow. I don't work the next day. I already took it off at work. As soon as the schedule came out, I took the day that Friday after off because I know I was gonna be drinking and stuff. So my goal is not to be. I have my own goals, and it's not to be drunk before kickoff. That's it, Elijah. That's pretty much it.
All right, my friend. All right. Nate, are you going to be drunk before kickoff, and what do you think about the game?
Nah. Right now, I see you, Alante. I'm with you, dog. I'm with you. Lions win. And one of the things that's going to be important, like you said, hey, he still has weapons back there, but I think the additions on that back end And again, the key to Mahomes, you have to keep pressure and we have to control the ball. So I have faith in Goff to do what he does, which is not turn the ball over, put us in position to consistently get points, and we win 27-24. Because remember, hey, here's the kicker. You know, people have the Lions, as I say, hey, fourth best odds right now to win the Super Bowl. So if we're going to lose a game, this would be the ideal one for everybody else, because it could be two things. One, they can say, oh yeah, see, we told you all these Lions weren't gonna be shit. They still the same old Lions, blah, 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 blah. Or is it okay? It's something different over there. We gotta put these guys on notice. We can't circle these guys now when we play them as a win. You know, we have to be more calculated. We have to take these guys serious because they playing like they are a NFL team. They ain't playing like a high school team no more. So, hey, I'm rolling with Alante. I see you posting live, Alante. I see you. Lions win 27-24. So, and he also, Alante just said that the last time Jared Goff played,
it was a shootout and he won against the Rams.
He won 400 yards plus a dub.
Outdo Mahomes.
I will take it. So Alante, man, good shit.
I knew that too, but I just didn't want to get no argument.
So
no, because every time we bring up these stupid ass quarterbacks, it'd be a problem. So I don't even want to talk about them.
Bobby has been talking about this in therapy. He's like, man, every single time. Anyway, so here are my thoughts. All right, I'm gonna give you my first prediction of the season. All right, and this might completely end up getting egg on my face, but that's okay. I think we're gonna shock the world.
Yeah,
I think September 8th. Okay, because this game is on September 7th, I do believe. Let me double check that real quick before I say something incorrect. Yeah, this game is on September 7th.
Because no, it's not, because the 9th.
Yeah, that's what Google's saying. Google's saying September 7th is the game. But anyway, I think the very next day.
Is it a Sunday game?
No, it's
a Thursday night.
Oh, Thursday. My bad. I'm thinking Sunday.
Yeah, opening night. Opening night.
So September 7th, the game is played. September 8th,
I'm gonna be drunk.
There's gonna be a lot of people. There's gonna be a lot of people who are wondering what the hell happened last night. Because I have our Detroit Lions, and I'm saying this with a straight face. I'm looking right into the camera. I have our Detroit Lions beating the Kansas City Chiefs in their home stadium on the night when they release their banner and show off their pretty, rings. I have our Detroit Lions beating them 45-21.
And the loudest place in the world, right? Okay.
The loudest place in the world is going to be Toledo, Ohio. There's going to be a drunk couple being like, "Oh my God, Jared Goff!"
Hey, Elijah, I'm not even going to go on that. I'm not going to do it now. Nope. Because if that happened, I would be mad. I'm gonna be mad.
Blame it on alcohol. Blame it on the alcohol. I'm just saying.
I'm just glad you with us this time, because you know Dennis Smith for
he be jumping up on us.
45-21. Here's why I say this.
Okay?
Here's why I say this. I think our running game is better than theirs. I think our offensive coordinator is better than theirs.
They secondary might be better. Our secondary might be better than theirs too.
It is.
I also think that Aaron Glenn knows what the Chiefs are going to try to do.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
They're going to try to go to Travis Kelce all night long. When they get in a hole, they're going to say, "Where's Travis Kelce?" Because that's what they do. And there was a lot of stuff revealed about Mahomes' game in that quarterback show on Netflix. If you guys check that out, if you haven't, I would encourage you.
Andy Reid is too smart, though.
He's not smarter than Ben Johnson. I'm putting my money on Ben Johnson. That's what I'm
And
because by
Andy
the
Reid
end
might
of
have
last,
enough guard throwing the ball. Or
because
something
by
on
the
his
end
ass.
of last season, Andy Reid was copying things that Ben Johnson was doing.
True.
Video evidence of it.
Actually, the league was.
What about the other 19 years of Andy Reid innovation and
I'm not saying.
like-
Listen, I'm not trying to bash Andy Reid. Okay, I'm not trying to bash Andy Reid.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is the new guy on the scene that everybody's talking about is Ben Johnson.
Oh yeah.
Ben Johnson's not going to miss an opportunity to solidify that and to verify what everybody thinks about him. So he's either going to outthink himself and we're going to lose because of it, or he is going to step up for his moment to shine and say, listen, I'm here.
Oh, he got Mr. Coach Klein playbook. Mr. Coach
So,
Klein playbook.
I think 45-21 Detroit. That's what I think. And I'm saying that with a straight face. I just think
I'm rolling with it.
we got
I'm
too much
rolling.
talent. We got
he
too
with
much
us.
talent. And
He with us.
we've been waiting too damn long for this type of team. So I'm fully in. I'm fully in.
I ain't ready to go there yet.
45-21. That's what I got.
Let
All
me
you
get a couple
ladies
drinks
heard
in
me
me
say
first, Elijah. Let me
We'll
get a couple
see
Let's
drinks
go.
what
in
happens.
Let's go, Eli. Let's go, Eli.
that. So, did everybody go on this game? I think
Yeah,
everybody-
yeah.
We good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next week, we have got week 2.
Seattle.
Hawks come to town. I'll go first on this one because I talked about Geno last year. It ain't gonna
Don't
be a thing
hey,
this year.
before you no, okay. About to say
It
don't
ain't
do
gonna
it.
be a
I
thing
ain't
this
won't.
year because the Lions gonna whoop that ass. That's what I think's gonna happen. I am
Yeah.
predicting in that game probably we'll say 35-10.
Damn.
You had it out.
Man, like
Listen, here's the thing. You're gonna get us
Man.
once. You're gonna get us once. But that second time, we're gonna whoop that ass. That's how I feel about all these teams we play. Because that's
Man,
what
like-
Dan Campbell has shown me they do. So I'm not
Yep.
just talking on my ass tonight, and I promise I'm not high. I'm just saying every time Dan Campbell loses to somebody, when we get a second chance to play them, it is a completely different game.
True shit. True
Hmm.
shit.
And Dan Campbell,
Hmm.
let's not forget about the fact for just a moment, okay? Dan Campbell played on that 0-16 team. He got injured early on in that season, so he had to sit there and watch his teammates, who he loves and cares about, lose week after week after week. So he knows that this hype that is going on right now for Detroit, you got to capitalize on it. And there's no way that he don't care about that because he's talked about it. He does care about that. He cares about what the fans think. He wants to put a good product out there for us and for the guys on the team. So I think for Dan Campbell, this is that season. He is not going to leave this season until he empties the bag completely on everything that they possibly got to try to give us, the fans, what we deserve to have. But now he's got the talent to do it. That's the difference between this season and the other two. And a huge, huge credit goes to Brad Holmes too. But both those guys, I think they desperately want a winner on this field for us. So I think that game against the Seahawks, Geno, you got us once. You won't get us again. Reggie, what do you think?
I might roll with you on a blowout, but you just convinced me. 45 points is a lot of points, bro. That's a lot of points. That's a thorough beating right there.
Mhm.
And
They got Bobby Wagner back too, though. It ain't gonna be the same.
I don't think Bobby enough for this game, especially
No,
coming
Bobby
off,
all pro. Bobby
Listen.
all pro still.
especially coming off that Kansas City game.
Mm.
I actually have them losing.
Mhm.
So I think that's why I think they're gonna take their frustrations out on Seattle. And tell you the truth, there's nothing on that team that really scares me, man. Nobody really.
Smith
Not
and
offensively.
Jigba. No, Smith and Jigba is pretty good. Yeah, I know you fucking Michigan. I mean, you damn Michigan fans do not like them Ohio State fans, but players. But Smith and Jigba is going to be a problem. I'm just saying.
Like I
He gonna
said,
get his ass
they don't-
tattooed.
there's a difference between talking about Mahomes and Kelsey to talking about Geno and even Metcalf. I love Metcalf, but It's not something that I'm like, oh my God, we're about to face him. It's not one of the type of games to me. So you know what? I'm gonna ride that train with you, Elijah. But I'm not gonna say 45. I'll probably say
He ain't gonna go full.
I'm
He ain't
saying
gonna go full
35.
Elijah.
I'm saying 35 in this game.
35.
He ain't gonna go full Elijah. He ain't gonna go full Elijah, but
Hey, listen, I think a lot of Lions fans are loving what I'm saying. They're just hoping they
yeah,
actually
you
see
the
it.
yeah,
We'll
yeah,
see.
you the man.
You know what? Bobby
Sound
Wagner.
like
Bobby Wagner can be in this game. That's fine. You know what's going to happen? He's going to see Jahmyr Gibbs run right past his ass, and he's going to look back and he's going to say, "No,
I hope
come
he
back,
do.
slow down."
Hey, I hope he don't get hit by him. Shit.
He ain't going to
Yeah,
get.
I hope he do. You know it, Nate.
He's too
Bobby
quick.
Wagner,
He
you
is
know what
too
I'm
quick.
saying, Nate. I hope he
You
do.
can't hit what you can't catch. I'm just
Yes,
saying.
Hey, Bobby
Hey,
Wagner ain't your
he's too
typical
quick.
linebacker,
He's
though.
too
Yeah,
quick.
he one of the best to do it, man.
He is gonna be literally looking at Jahmyr Gibbs 40 yards down the field saying, "No, come back, please slow down."
Ooh.
Anyway,
Ooh-wee.
Bobby Bless. I hope I'm getting too excited, my friend.
I got the Lions winning, and it's one of our revenge games. It's definitely like, but all that other stuff you were saying besides the actual good part of what you said was how Dan Campbell they don't get us twice. I actually, that's something that you got me with that one. That's a good one. But you know, we need to have some respectable fear of them. They may be they probably literally the reason why our ass was sitting at home when the playoffs started. So we gotta win this. So I expecting us to win. And I just, you know, if the Lions gonna have a top offense like everybody think we should, shoot, if we wasn't that good and was averaging 30, we was the highest scoring team for like the first half of the season almost. So we're more than capable of saying all the stuff Elijah's saying. It's just that I'm not ready yet, man, because I'd be too disappointed if it don't happen, man. So I ain't ready to go that far yet. So
You're ready.
but I know we're gonna
ready.
win. I know we're gonna win, though. I know we're gonna win. We got that.
Nate Rucker, Seahawks. What do you think? 55-0?
Listen to
I got us
you.
winning,
You
though. I got us winning 27-17.
Okay.
I know you start so much shit,
Yeah,
man.
you know, I'm looking at I just want to acknowledge, man, that our people that's really watching. Alante and comedian Shay B going crazy in the comments right now. They both saying very, very good things. Comedian saying that, hey, the Lions are a household name, and we're gonna take this dub. Alante is another guy who who's very familiar with us, knows football as well. So he's picking the Lions. And then I got us beating the hell out of Seattle. But again, you know, if we beat them, it's gonna be because of that D line. Their D line is ass. Now,
okay.
they secondary. You still got Jamal Adams back there. You still got Diggs back there. You got Tariq Warren back there. So you know they got some speed. You know, and then that linebacker Bobby Wagner, and then they still got Jordan back there. So, like I say, they on the defense, man, it's going to
Bobby
be us.
Wagner gonna be making a different game.
I mean,
himself.
it's going to be this game. Is going to be, to me, one on the legs of Montgomery. They're going to have to control the clock. They're going to have to pound the ball. And as long as we can do that, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah.
And again, you know, on the offense, man, we not worrying about Smith and Jigma. Fuck him. On the person we really worry about is DK. I don't
Kenneth
know
Walker too. Kenneth Walker
yeah.
too. I know he's from Michigan State. Y'all don't give them rivals no love, even in the pros. I see how y'all is.
Kenneth Walker.
So
but no joke. Kenneth Walker is no joke either.
He a beast.
He is. A guy who transferred, came back. Huh?
Hey, Nate. Now you heard about Gibbs getting lit up, right?
Yeah.
By CJ. Kenneth gonna get.
We like okay.
Kenneth coming through them tackles.
Hold on.
Kenneth coming through them tackles.
Okay, now look. I'm a Lions fan. But Jahmyr Gibbs is 195 pounds, maybe pushing might
like
touch 200, but
215, 220.
But Kenneth Walker is 215, 220, runs a 4.4. You listen, you running to him, you better leave your feet because
He the best one of the best after contact too.
Hey, yeah. I mean, so I don't know, man. And
forward to
CJ ain't exactly 230 to be.
That's Jack Campbell. Jack Campell that better be his
Right.
guy.
Right. So, but again, man, I think we win 27-17.
Yeah. I think we're gonna
get our
revenge that,
revenge
too.
back. Yeah, we get our revenge, and we start out the season 2-0.
So week 3, because I believe everybody got a chance to talk. I hope everybody did.
Yeah.
Week 3, we have a home game versus the Atlanta Falcons. And let's be honest about this story, okay? Because this is going to be the story. It's going to be about the 2 first-round running backs, okay? Bijan Robinson.
He nice. He nice.
I'm going to tell y'all right now. If I was writing the newspaper after this game, the headline would be Bijan, be gone. Because Jahmyr Gibbs is going to show why he is the best running back from this draft class. Ain't no doubt about it.
Smoking that
I
Pookie
think
lot
he's
today,
going to
baby.
have multiple touchdowns in this game. And I also think he's going to get a receiving touchdown in this game. Now, why am I saying that? Because he did it the last time these two guys took the field against one another. Because Jahmyr was at Alabama. Bijan was in Texas. Go back and watch the game. Jahmyr ran all over that field.
He ain't on Alabama no more.
Hey, I ain't worried about it though. Because now he's got a better offensive line than he ever did at Alabama or Georgia Tech. Bijan does not have that. Bijan's going to be great in this league. Don't get me wrong. He's going to be great in this league. But this first matchup is going to Jahmyr and the Detroit Lions. My final score prediction on this one, I say 21-14. I think it's going to be a closer game than the other two that I talked about. And I think the reason why is because a lot of people think the Falcons are a bunch of bums, but they're not. They're kind of a growing team. They're a growing team. But I'm saying 21-14. Lions win. Bijan be gone. All about Jahmyr Gibbs. Let's go to Nate, because Nate's rolling his eyes and everything. Nate, what do you got?
I don't even know how to roll in my eyes. I'm reading the comments on the screen. I got us. Look, I got us. I got us winning, man. 31-7. Like we beat the hell out of Falcons.
He said they ball.
Yeah, baby.
He said they ball. He said they ball.
Oh, you see? Oh, well, come get on. Listen, I got us. We're in the garage and we're on the TV in the garage. So Madison comes out the house and she's doing like this, trying to see where she. But yeah, man, 31-7. Desmond Ridder ain't shit, man. Ain't nobody worried about him. Their offensive line, man, is still a work in progress. And I mean, they defense, ain't nobody worried about Atlanta for real, man. Like I say, 31-7. Desmond Ridder, I think our defense sacks him maybe 4 to 5 times this game. And then, of course, I think St. Brown works the fuck out of what's his name? Damn, there was a guy who used to play on our team over there who didn't deserve that number 1. Oh yeah, Okuku. Yeah,
Okuku.
He gonna get his Okuku touched by St. Brown.
Nasty Nate.
He gonna get his Okuku touched.
Okuku.
He gonna get that Okuku touched.
Oh man, you too funny. Bobby Bless, what do you got?
You know what? It's one of them trap games. I hate to say that, man. I hate when they say it on TV. And why did I hell say that shit? But it's a trap game, man. It's one of them games that we can easily take lightly that we shouldn't. Because are we on the road, right?
No, we're at home.
No, we're at home.
We at home? Well, they better win that damn game. I don't know.
31-7. We beat them bums ass, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna go full Elijah for what you say, 55-0.
Oh, come on.
Ain't that what you say? No, but honestly though,
jokingly,
they do got some young talent though. I wouldn't necessarily call them bombs, but I'm interested to see the Pitts Gardner Johnson matchup, because that's why we got him for that kind of situation. Because the Lions defenses in the path and let them tight ends get cool all the time. So I'm interested to see what the phenom tight end, the youngster that's that is primarily the receiver, but that's
they don't even round him up at tight end. I think last year he plays like less than 30% of his snaps lined up as a tight end.
So
anyway.
he's basically
they
like
split him out.
Yeah.
They motion him out.
Yeah, so I'm not. It's the game that the next week that I'm more interested in, to be honest.
Reggie,
bums.
the Falcons. What do you think?
Ain't nobody worried about the Falcons.
Right. So man, fuck them bums.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Actually, I'm gonna do your own one better. I'm gonna tell you how bad this is gonna get. I'm gonna say 28-0, and our defense out. This the coming out for the defense.
Okay.
Okay.
A shutout? I can tell the last time we got a shutout.
Hutchinson gets a pick 6.
Ooh.
He gets a pick 6. CJ gets a pick 6.
Ooh.
And the rest of it is just gonna be Gibbs showing up.
Thank you. I'm
gonna say, who the hell they quarterback? Matthew Stafford?
See,
we were doing such a good job.
I don't think they got a Super Bowl champion at quarterback.
We were doing such a good job too, man. Anyway, all right,
Bobby, I had to do it.
Y'all should people in the comments. Y'all should take bets on the show of when Matthew Stafford is going to be brought up because he wasn't even anywhere on here. Anyway,
hey, you said pick six. Hey, everything pick 6 has Matthew Stafford tattooed on it. He's gonna break the record this year anyway. He's gonna be number 1.
Man, come on now.
Everything but champion.
All right, so let's go.
I'm not gonna touch it because I had a Matthew Stafford stat I screenshot, but I'm not gonna do that today. Let's go.
I think it's Save-A-Lot, if I'm not mistaken. I think Save-A-Lot has the pick 5. Maybe Matthew Stafford could get an endorsement deal. Anyway,
my God.
Hell no, because he's gonna give you 6.
That's right.
He's gonna give you 6. They're gonna put
Save-A-Lot out of business. Store and the 1 from me. Anyway, so let's go.
He's gonna put Save-A-Lot out of business. They're gonna be giving 1 extra to everybody.
I feel bad for even saying that joke because I like Stafford. Anyway, moving on. Packers at the Packers. I'm gonna go first because dang it, I want to. All right, so here's my prediction. 28-3, Lions win.
Mm-hmm.
That's my prediction. I don't think they know what they want to do at quarterback right now. If you know, they actually just signed Magoo from USFL, who was their
I've seen that.
Okay?
I've seen that too.
They signed him, and he's a good player. Okay, I don't mean to talk bad about him. He is a good player. All right, but you don't bring that guy in if you are secure in what you have in Jordan Love, because you already had backup quarterback.
No. Elijah, you can be going into it too deep, man. He's just on a camp body, man.
I don't think he's a camp body. I really don't.
Okay.
I think he is going to ball out in the preseason for them, and there's going to be people questioning it because if you look at Jordan Love, what was the biggest knock on Jordan Love coming out of college? It was he throws too many damn interceptions. Got all the arm talent in the world, but he throws too many damn interceptions. That was a knock on him. So far throughout his NFL career, he has not fixed that. Last year, he got all the preseason reps because they didn't care about Aaron Rodgers. And he went out there, and I think his final total for preseason stats, which not a lot of people keep those, I get that.
Don't worry about it. We got the man with the numbers.
3 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. So he has not yet solved his interception problem. Now, they are going to be Aaron Jones heavy in Green Bay. They're going to be run first heavy in Green Bay until Jordan Love or whoever the quarterback is coming.
His ass ain't going to hold up too long.
I don't think they are secure yet in their decision on Jordan Love. I think
I definitely agree
forced
with
his
that.
way out of there. And now they're kind of like, we hope we can make the best out of a bad situation. Here's the other thing I know, all right? And this happens a lot in movies, where especially horror films, where you see one person and they look like they're about to get killed and then they survive. And then, they look like they're about to get killed again. There's only so many times you can do that before Jason kills your ass, okay? Or Michael Myers kills your ass. And for Green
That-
Bay,
It never happens to the black guy. He dies first.
well, I
Yeah,
mean,
all the time.
I'm not trying to go there, but what I am trying to say, is that Green Bay has been able to live off of the fact that they can move off of a quarterback and they can get a great one to follow.
Put another Hall of Famer right
Yeah.
behind.
That
him.
only happens so many times. And I think the
True.
last time for them that's going to happen is Aaron Rodgers. I think they're going into a slump starting this year where they're going to be okay or they're going to be average. But again, I think Aaron Jones is going to be the guy they lean on this year, those running backs for them. But I don't think it's going to be enough. I think the Lions have got them figured out. And I think we are going to enjoy the next couple of years of Packers matchups. And this game is at Lambeau, so let's make it hurt a little bit, right, fellas? 28-3, Detroit wins. Let's go on to Bobby Bless. Bobby, I don't know if we have to put.
I don't even care. I don't even care. Look, my worst fear though is the MF starting to listen to the coach and don't change the plays and the shit work. That's my worst fear. But as far as 41-10 Lions. That's
Okay.
it.
All right. I can certainly live with that one. Reggie, at the Packers, are you buying what I'm selling?
Smoke it too.
I
while
like
you at it.
the fact that the beginning of this season is all winnable games.
Yeah.
It's all winnable games, and we get a lot of those monkeys off our back. You know what I'm saying? Okay, we about to dominate the Packers. Get that out the way. Atlanta's booty, get them out the way. We got to pay Seattle back, get them out the way. And one thing I think Campbell's gonna do for us this year is make it to where we don't have trap games. Like we pick every game that we play. This gonna be enough. People can see this as a trap game. I know we're gonna pop them too.
Nate Rucker, he's wearing his cloak of invisibility.
I'm here. Don't worry about it.
gonna
I'm
run
here.
into
I'm
frame.
here.
Dun, dun,
I'm
dun,
here.
dun, dun, dun. All right, Nate, what do you got for us?
I got us 35-14.
35-14. Okay, so see,
I got Aaron Jones getting the shit knocked out of him, putting the ball on the turf twice. Jordan Love being harassed all damn game. So again, I mean, he can't read defense. So I'm looking literally for our defense to just control this game, and we do whatever the hell we want to. And then, our problem with Lambeau was always about the cold, but last couple of years, the cold hasn't mattered. So now we get y'all when it's warm. Now we get y'all when it's warm, and Cameron Poe's not there. We sent that dude packing. So, Buddy Love,
or Matt Flynn, or Matt Flynn ain't there.
Right. Or Matt Flynn.
So 2 things before we move on to the next game. Did anybody else catch the Frozen reference? Nate just threw at you guys that the cold doesn't bother me anymore. And then secondly, I'm just going to call it like I see it. Okay. Lambeau Field for Detroit the next couple of years, the way I see it anyway. And my father's a Packers fan, so I have, reason to want this to go well. Okay. Just like Bobby does.
Mm-hmm.
Like mega churches, they always have multiple locations of their church.
Yeah.
Our satellite location for the Detroit Lions is going to be at Lambeau Field. That's our house, as well as Ford Field. I'm just saying. That's how I feel about it. Moving on here to the Panthers. We have got a home game against the Panthers. Now, we remember what happened last season. We don't like what happened last season, but now we're playing on an actual NFL field and not a junkyard. So, now that we got a nice brand new field for the fellas to fall on, how are we feeling about this game? Let's start with Reggie.
Again, another winnable game, another payback game, another reason to throw somebody a beating. But I think this one's going to be closer.
Okay.
I got it 28-24.
No way. Get out of my. Oh, man. I got to show the camera this if I can. I literally wrote down, y'all can read my chicken scratch, 28-24 for the Panthers. Get out of my head, Reggie. But anyway, go ahead, man.
Yeah, that's where I got it. They especially with our guys being there, they still want to run the football. They still got Miles Sanders, who's a good running back. But I do got this game a little bit closer. But still another dub. Only got one loss right now.
So I'm going to go next here, but I wanted to pull up something just briefly. And I'm going to go back in time because some people might be like hearing what I'm saying this evening and saying, does Elijah realize what he's saying? First of all, yes, I do. I do realize what I'm saying. I think the beginning of this season is going to be like the beginning of the 2011 season. Now, y'all have to understand something, okay? I became a fan of Detroit when Calvin became a Detroit Lion. So I never really got to experience Detroit having success until the 2011 season. But that season, if you remember, we started things off 5-0, and Ford Field was rocking on Monday Night Football against the Chicago Bears. But I just want to give you those 5 games real quick. We're not going to talk about each one. I'm just going to give you the scores, okay? First week of the season, we played the Buccaneers. We won that game 27-20. Then we played the Kansas City Chiefs. We beat them 48-3.
Right.
Played Minnesota Vikings. We won that game 26-23 in overtime. Beat the Cowboys 34-30, and then beat the Chicago Bears 24-13. Now, I already know the answer to this question, but you know what? I'll ask it anyway. And this is for the audience at home, because I know the fellas on the screen, I'm pretty sure I know what they feel. Do you think we're better right now, these 2023 Detroit Lions, are we better than that 2011 Detroit Lions team? I would venture to say, hell yes, we are. We're a more complete team than we were back in 2011, because that was before we really got things rocking with that defense and Ndamukong Suh. That was the baby version of the Lions. I think we're better than that team, and that team started out 5-0. So that's why
I know we're better than that team. We have the all-time leading quarter interception to touchdown ratio quarterback with us this time. So yes, I agree.
But I'm just saying, for me, I have confidence in saying
He's a champion though.
Hey now, we don't want to go off the rails. I am saying we went 5-0 back then, and we didn't have all of our things together. We do have a lot more together now. I feel confident saying we start the season 5-0 because of that. And
I think our reasons for the failure is much different, Elijah. But okay.
But I'm just saying, like for me, I'm thinking that I'm going to be feeling good by week 5, like I did back in 2011. That's my hope. But I think we beat the Panthers by a score of 28-24. I think it is a closer game. I think by that point, Bryce Young, if he's not hurt, which I don't wish injury on anybody, but
he won't be.
I know that the Panthers don't have it all together offensive line wise. Hopefully he's healthy. If he is healthy, I think he gives us a good game. But I think that we'll beat them 28-24. Nate, what do you think about the Panthers? And if you want to jump in on the 2011 thing briefly, you can.
Don't do it.
Yes, yes, we better. After this game, we'll be 5-0. We beat the Panthers 21-17. Again, like I say, the circumstances, that shitty ass field, the weather, that was just it was a perfect storm. But like Dan Campbell said, that game, that was where his team was on the road, and they needed to get kicked in the teeth, and they got their teeth kicked in, and that's what reset them. And I think that he's going to make sure that they remember what type of road they was on. And guess what? They win that game. It doesn't matter what Seattle or nobody else does at the end of the year. They make the playoffs regardless. Mm-hmm. And I think he's going to remind them of that.
Yeah.
Let them know, hey, okay, y'all play spoiler. That's fine. But right now y'all not going to stop our winning streak. We're going to continue to win. We're going to be 5-0. And we get that dub. 21-17, go Lions.
Reggie, your thoughts on this game?
I gave you my thoughts.
Oh, you did? Okay, my bad. My
Yeah.
bad. I'm starting to lose it here as we go on.
We on to the
We
next
haven't
one.
gone to Bobby yet. Bobby, what do you think about this Panthers game?
Like Nate said, it's a revenge game. This is my mom's favorite team, so I'll probably be over her house, unlimited food. It's gonna be a good time. No, yeah, revenge game. I'm expecting them to try to revenge another loss because they definitely on the book. But like I said before, is what's his name? Deuce Staley. It's gonna be interesting to see how they call that game or how they prepare them for that game, because I'm pretty sure he know where all the bodies are buried. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Let's move on to our next game, our last game that we're covering tonight, and that's going to be at the Buccaneers. So I'll start with this one.
Oh man.
It's actually, is it at the Buccaneers? I didn't think it was at the Buccaneers.
Yeah, I think it's at the Bucs.
I want to
It's
know.
at
It's at the Buck.
Okay, it is at the Bucs. All right, so they're wearing their creamsicle jerseys because that's what they decided to do against us. I don't know what jerseys we're wearing, but we're probably going to be wearing them Greyhound uniforms, you know, making sure that people know about America's best bus company. So anyway, I think this game goes to overtime. I really do. I think this is going to be a good game. I'm saying 38-31. I think Baker Mayfield has himself.
That's oh my God.
I think he has
he's
himself.
above, man.
I really do. I believe that in that division, okay, and again, this is not a Buccaneer show, so I won't waste a lot of time on this. But I believe in that division, you got the Panthers, the Saints, the Falcons, the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are the team that everybody's making the butt of every single joke right now. And I think they need to watch what they say, okay? Because Baker Mayfield, when he has got talent around him, can do some interesting things. He did it at Cleveland. When Cleveland
Throw the ball to the goalpost.
Cleveland was nothing. And then Baker showed up. He was working with Nick Chubb. And Nick Chubb, I think he's going to break all of Jim Brown's records at Cleveland, in my personal opinion. But anyway, if they can give Baker the support he needs, I think the Bucs are going to be pretty good this year. And I think for the Lions, this is going to be a little bit of a surprise game for them. And that's why I say it goes to overtime. But we still get it done, 38-31. But I do think it's going to be a high-scoring affair, and people are going to be talking about them creamsicle jerseys and how nasty they look. But anyway, let's go over to Nate Rucker. Nate, I know you don't agree with me on Baker, but do you agree with me that like everybody's talking about them like they're going to be the worst team in the league, and maybe they shouldn't?
Because they are. They suck ass. From the front. Almost. I don't even know if that's even possible, but they suck ass from the front and the back. Like, they're just,
Oh my God. Bobby was
listen here.
mid-drink.
Them boys is terrible.
Don't do me like that.
Baker Mayfield sucked. And he had all the goddamn weapons in Cleveland. He had Landry, he had OBJ, he had Nick Chubb. And
Kareem Hunt.
And they went to
right,
the
and Kareem Hunt.
All he had
Ain't
to do was just hand the damn ball off.
nobody worried about
They
no
went
damn
to
Baker.
the playoffs with that. And they took the Chiefs down to the wire.
Yeah, that was due to Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb.
And then he got hurt the next year, and they weren't able to do that because he got hurt.
And
No.
then he sucked.
Yeah.
He
He couldn't even use OBJ. He couldn't even use
Right.
OBJ.
He sucked. He the reason why we actually didn't make the playoffs. Counting on that bum to get a dub when it counted.
Yeah.
We 6 and-
Hell yeah.
We
We
6
definitely
and
owe him. I forgot about that, Nate.
With NFL
Hey,
talent,
listen. We 6-0. We smashed them bums 38-7. Baker Mayfield gets pulled.
for Kyle Trask.
We walk into the sunset.
Okay.
I'm not even spending no time on that.
All right.
Fucking
Bobby
Baker.
Bless, we'll go to you.
I'm so worried about how you see these quarterbacks, man. I'm just gonna go to the next. I'm 100-0, Detroit. 100-0, Detroit, man. Because I'm so worried about how you look at these quarterbacks, man.
But am I
Like, this
wrong?
is-
Am I ever wrong when I predict
No.
somebody on this show?
I think you about to turn a new leaf.
Hey,
I really
I'm
do.
standing on my record. I'm standing on my record, and
Baker
I'm saying
Mayfield, he's
the
short.
Bucks are going to be better
He
than
not
2
fast.
15.
He can't. And he got a little arm. No, he
And
whack.
he inaccurate as fuck.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see. That again, that's the one I think is going to be a surprise, but we'll see. Reggie
He a
Funches, what do you
backup,
think?
and they always end up being starter to me. I just feel that way.
Reggie Funches, what do you think?
They forfeit because they so booty.
They forfeit because he said we make NFL history. That's some semi-pro type stuff. We're just gonna give up before the game even starts.
No. You said S by C.
Oh my goodness. So what was score prediction for that? I mean, I think a forfeit's worth 2 points. So you're saying 2-0?
Just another blowout. I don't know.
He said, I don't even know.
So listen, apparently I'm the only one who thinks that's gonna be a game. So Mark,
Yeah, man, Baker Mayfield
listen.
ain't shit. He
Hey,
ain't.
listen. Elijah went full Tropic Thunder only because I can't say that line. Okay.
hey, come on now. All right, so we'll see.
I
We'll see
can't
though.
say that line. Hey,
We'll
look, we're
see.
not about to get banned because of me. Look at him, but you went Tropic Thunder.
Man, I really don't think I did. I'm telling you, everybody talks about that team like they're a bunch of bums, and I don't know. I just feel like they've got talent down there. It's not like they're devoid of talent. And
They
as long
have
as Baker
defense.
can hand it off and hit people accurately, they'll be fine.
Here you go. Wait, here you go. We tweeted about them individually, but after 5 Bucks practices, Baker Mayfield has thrown 4 interceptions, 2 today, 1 deflected. Kyle Trask has only had 1. Turnovers were arguably the biggest concern about Mayfield going into the competition.
No, they don't care about that practice. They don't care about the practice turnovers. I've seen it in Detroit for years.
No, we're just saying he's butt cheeks on the practice field and on the real field.
Right. He's butt cheeks.
Therefore, he's gonna get blown out.
I don't know.
Hey,
They don't care about the practice interceptions. They definitely don't care about that.
He's an ashy ass butt cheek. That's what he is.
He about to make me
We'll see.
bypass Godwin and
So we gotta go.
On the
We gotta
fantasy.
go.
They're corrupted. Yeah, you can't get none of their receivers. He right. I wouldn't get no Bucks receiver.
We gotta go 2-minute drill on these topics here, my friend.
Oh, okay.
I'll tee you up and then we'll do the topics real quick, okay? So you want to talk about Sheila Ford Hamp, Nate? What do you got?
Well, one of the things, first of all, the change, the culture change of this team was due to her. She felt disrespected. She was irate. She was utterly, like she said, she was utterly just mad at the way that people looked at the Lions. And she took that to heart. Granted, we all said, at one point in time that the team should be sold. As long as it's owned by Ford, it won't do anything because, to them it was a hobby. But we have an owner who truthfully knows football, ironically. And if anybody, don't know for sure, just watch Inside the Den and hear her how she talks about the prospects when they're naming players and she's truly giving her opinion. She's not the football mind. She's just a chick. But she's actually included in this war room, giving her opinion on why, and what she thinks about a certain player. And so to me, that is huge. We know Martha didn't know shit. We know, Clay didn't know shit. Gator don't play no shit. So, Sheila, hey man, we have to put some respect on Sheila because the first thing that she did, we talked about a lot of people saying Chris Spielman as a coach. Everybody, oh man, we should hire him as a head coach or hire him as a defensive coordinator, blah, 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 blah. She's seen the bigger picture. Mm-hmm. In order to change something, in order to change the culture, it has to start from the top. So she put Chris Spielman right in the office next to her. You're going to be the one that oversees this. So if you're going to be the general, you're going to be the leader, they're going to pay attention. They're going to listen to you. We're going to make these decisions together. She put him on her leadership team, her and Chris Phil and Rob Wood and Disner, you know, and they got together, and then what they did, they hired Brad Holmes, hired Dan Campbell, you know, again, football guys and guys with integrity and guys with a competitive edge. Like, you're just not about to disrespect me. That's just not how this is gonna go. I don't care what the old Lions used to be or how they were viewed. You're gonna look at us differently. I promise you that. And in 1 year, they won 3 games, from 3 games to 9 games. And now in the 3rd year, they had them with the 4th best odds to win the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
And that doesn't happen without the type of owner that we have now, who takes it to heart, takes it on the chin, and feels the disrespect that the fans do. And she said it, hey, we deserve a winner. We deserve a better product on the field. And that's what she wants. Hey, shit, Brad, you cut whoever the fuck you want, they ain't producing. I want a dub. I
Right.
want to sit here. I want to enjoy blowouts. I want to sit in the booth and high five my guys, and you know. And then on top of that, she's mending broken fences.
Mhm.
You know. Like I said, it's sad when the fans turn on players, and it's like, man, that's just how some of these fans are so fair weatherish that it's crazy. But how can you ever turn your back on Calvin Johnson and be disrespectful to him for what he did for this franchise? So guess what? She fixed that.
Mhm.
She made sure, Rob Wood, you was wrong. You fix it too.
Right.
You know, and you put some respect on her name, and deservingly so. So I just want to see, man, what y'all think about Sheila, man. What were your, before she took over, what were your expectations of her? What was your thought process to where it is now? Eli?
Okay. So for me, I've never been one to say sell the team. I know a lot of fans, they like to be vocal about that. They wear the paper bags on their heads, all that sort of thing. To me, I've never seen a fan movement get somebody to sell a team. I'm not saying it's never happened before in professional sports, but I'm saying I have never seen that or heard about that. So when people do that, I feel like, yeah, hey, freedom of speech, that's great and all, but you kind of look like a fool with that paper bag on your head. So I've never done that. Okay. I've just always assumed the Fords are going to own it forever until they decide they no longer want to own it. But it's not going to be us that makes them not want to make that money. You know what I mean? So for me,
Right.
I just kind of figured, like, hopefully they can figure it out so that we're not rooting for a team that loses every single year. And hey, I got to give her a lot of credit for how she's handled things and the people she's hired. And more importantly, the control she has given up of this team to Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell and Chris Spielman and all those folks, because while, yes, she is giving her opinion, she is not micromanaging either. And
Right.
that to me is super important. I also think it's awesome, not to, be political or whatever, but I think it's awesome that we have one of the few African-American general managers and that he is given the moment to shine and the resources necessary to do the best job possible, because we see so often when that doesn't happen, they're given.
Eli just got his black card stamped.
I'm just
2
saying,
times.
though, like, for me, I
I know.
like, sincerely,
He
I
doing
am very
podcasts with
happy.
3 brothers. He
I am very happy for Brad Holmes. Like, he works his
know.
ass off,
Mm.
and I think he's one of the best GMs in the league. And I'm happy that Sheila Ford, who is also in the minority, because she's one of only, like, I think 3 female owners.
3?
And
Is
listen,
it 4? It's 3 or 4. It's small.
3 or 4. It's not many. Okay. It's not many, but she's saying, listen, I'm different. I want my team to be different. I want to show what we can be. I want to inspire others. And I think she's not just doing that as a lip service or a fan service. She's actually putting money and resources behind that, which is what makes me, really appreciative of her. Because again, she could have been like, okay, Brad Holmes, you're our GM, but when everything goes to shit, I'm going to blame you. But she didn't do that. She doubled down and said, no, these are my guys. So I love that about Sheila Ford Hamp. That's where I am. I'm really happy with where the Lions are going, as indicated by my 6-0 record that I'm predicting we go on. Bobby, what do you think about Sheila?
Shoot, I didn't really have no expectations for her, so she couldn't really. It wasn't nowhere to go but up. You know what I mean? I didn't really feel that. I didn't have a problem with Miss Ford, Miss Martha before her. She, wasn't no football lady, but she could obviously tell when she had a good coach. So I'm assuming that, you know what I mean. So I'm assuming she just like Nate said, just not letting the same old, just doing something different. You kind of remind me of maybe like with this what Sean Payton said. He said we doing everything opposite what dude did before us, and it seemed that way. Maybe the biggest thing that's interesting about the whole thing is she got kind of a lot of ridicule for hiring Rod Wood because nobody makes sense of that. Like, why you hire that damn clown? But shoot,
Right.
yeah, but if you look at the Lions, everything but football, the Lions is in the better spot. So,
True
I'm not
shit.
saying,
True shit.
not, because like, I don't know. Was that you, Elijah, that put that video in the group chat?
Yeah,
About
I
the
was
Lions
afraid
Stadium
to
and
watch
stuff?
that, but thank you, Bobby.
Okay, yeah. About that. Yeah, I watched it, brother. And that's all Rod Wood, to be honest. I'm pretty sure that's all his hand fingerprint, all on that. And then just that alone, because people just like, why would you hire a non-football guy? So that alone make her like know what she's talking about as far as growing this team. Maybe she not in on the X and O's. And she don't know people 40 times, but she's a good owner / boss. At least know the damn workers' names. So
Right.
so that means she more in touch with the players, and she's around a lot more because I see her a lot all the time. But as far as that, it's just her hiring Rod Wood because, like, I went to a couple games last year, and I'm telling you, man, that Wi-Fi at Ford Field is good, man. I'm telling you, man. So all that little stuff, and then like you said, the entrance. We did that though. Remember we did the episode about you already was on that. We was already on that anyway. But that all that is true. It is a lot easier to get in and out of the game. Now in and out, as far as in and out of the damn parking lots, that's a whole different story. But Ford Field is a good atmosphere for a game, and Rod Wood made that better alone. I don't know about all the restaurants in there, but like Ford Field is one of the better stadiums. So and just that alone, that got SummerSlam there and all that stuff there too. So that's all part of why I would, because that the damn building is for the Lions. So just the stuff they ain't doing with football is different. But other than that, man, this is really hard for me not to know what owner's impact unless somebody wrote a headline about it and I read it. So
sorry, go ahead, Bobby.
I don't hate her. The other dude, I don't hate her. So I'm
Reggie,
okay with that.
Thoughts on Sheila?
Always say you got to earn your merit. So I don't have an expectation until you show me something. Because then my expectations is based on what your efforts are. And one thing I really appreciate about what she did is she started from the inside out. She said, she started correcting the culture of the team and the organization from the inside. She set up something called the Culture Task Force to make sure that employees open format, talk to people in leadership to actually make changes inside the organization and not just assuming that what's happening with your foot soldiers. No, your foot soldiers actually have direct access to Sheila. And that's very rare in an organization. So she started from there in. Then she started correcting wrongs for previous regimes, building those relationships with Barry, correcting those wrongs.
That's a good point, Brett.
That shows that shows how you feel about not just the Lions organization, but guys that gave us entertainment and enjoyment despite us being in a tough position. Like guys so she made sure that they were addressed. And then she hit it from the league level. Like she's working on like I forgot the name of it. NFL Women's Careers Program, was trying to get women to actually get jobs inside of NFL and how to break through those barriers. So she's not just sitting back collecting money, with a bad product on the field. She's trying to make her impact league wide. So my expectations is for her to continue doing the things that she's doing, keep groundbreaking, but first and foremost, make sure this team puts a winning product on the field. And I'm not just talking about, we win 11 games and then we lose in the.
No, we win in playoff games.
We're talking about we are progressively getting better. We are progressively making it to the point where the Detroit Lions are a focal point for the NFL, somebody they want to focus on, something that they want to know, instead of somebody that's a passive game that people just mark off on their calendars saying that that's a dub.
Okay, can I throw a question out there? And real quick too, how much? And this is a question for everybody, all my brothers. How much the Sheila Ham relationship got us the primetime game?
A lot.
And
a lot.
Because that, Lions fans, we was all surprised. So
they did say she spearheaded us being on Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
They said she was one that spearheaded that. So that just goes to show that she was like, all right, we ain't about to just sit back and build this title. We want to put it out there that we about to make these changes. We got to put it out there that it ain't gonna be the same old Lions. So it just shows where her attitude is, where her mind state is, and that I like the way Nate put it earlier, that she was disgusted with how people view the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
So don't just be disgusted. Make the adjustments that's needed to make it to where you can be proud of what you got. And right now, we're starting to see it.
I think for Sheila Ford Hamp, to answer Bobby's question, I think she had a lot to do with it, like Nate and Reggie said. I think the NFL as a league, they are, just based on, me being a football fan for a while, I feel like they're a league where they expect their franchises to help themselves. You gotta help yourself. All right. And I think Bobby's phone may have died because he's not here anymore. But hopefully
I think so.
Hopefully he'll pop back in. He's probably angry right now because he's like, oh man. But anyway, just to answer Bobby's question, maybe he'll see this a little bit later on. I feel like they're a league that expects you to help yourself, and then they'll start helping you. And Sheila Ford Hamp has done that. She's shown that the Lions are willing to help themselves by being on stuff like Hard Knocks, by going that extra mile for the league, by getting things done. And then the league is like, okay, well, we'll show a light on you because of that.
Yeah, that's what I said. And one thing that she said, all roads lead through Detroit. That's her personal belief. All roads lead through Detroit. And as an owner, that's great to hear. But it's one of those things where we talked, even when we were 1-6, and everybody was complaining about the referees and all that stuff, and why the league ain't doing so much. And I remember I said, hey, the moment this team starts to win, despite referees, stop crying, stop worrying about what's happening, why they ain't calling this, why they ain't calling that. But when you play and you still win in spite of, the image of you will change. The thought processes that the league and the way you're viewed will change. And we literally seen that to where our penalties dropped drastically from that bad game of Awarie, when he had 6, but that game I think we had a total of 13 penalties called. And if we remember, that's when everything started to turn around. And especially when we were on that 4-game winning streak, our penalties started to decline. We started to see less illegal use of hands, less offsides, less pass interference, to where they were actually letting the team play. So that goes to show the league, like, no, we serious. We here. And that's the change of the culture. And that's the embodiment of the owner, Miss Ford. Miss Sheila Hamp Ford.
So we have got a bunch of other things that we had planned on talking about tonight, but I don't think we're going to be able to get them all in. But what I do want to say is just, a huge thank you to everybody who has tuned in tonight, because there's been a lot of people who have stuck with us throughout this entire show. So thank you for that. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We would greatly appreciate that. We're going to go to closing remarks here. We're going to start off with Nate Rucker. Nate, closing remarks, my friend, for episode 41.
Let's get ready for some football. The first game is a Hall of Fame game. Also, this is about J-Mo. Like, let's find more positives. Don't be like everybody else and push everything negative. The kid is in his second year. Regardless of where he got drafted, he's still a young kid who he does not have a criminal background. Like, he's just a young kid who's learning the game of life. We've all made mistakes in life growing up, but just because he makes millions don't mean he's a robot, don't mean he's not human. He's going to make his mistakes. But for all the mistakes, pay attention to the positives. We'll never be that show that's going to be like everybody else that's highlight. Oh, well, he dropped this pass and he didn't catch that and he missed this route. Okay, that's fine. But throughout that practice, he also laid a hell of a block in the middle of the field that sprung Jahmyr Gibbs for an extra 25 yards. So that's key. Like his effort, he's at the voluntary workouts. He's at the mandatory workouts. He's working out with Amon-Ra and Jared Goff in the offseason. So don't just highlight those guys as being the leaders. This is a young guy who has taken ownership for his mistake. He said, hey, I didn't know. Okay, that's fine. Only thing he can say he didn't know. He could have appealed it. He could have did whatever, prolonged it through the middle of the season. But he said, hey, again, this is about the team. It's my mistake. I don't want everything highlighted on me. Mm-hmm. When I get the chance, you guys will see me on the field. And I love it. Just stay off the negative shit. Everything negative. Unfortunately, as we know, negativity sells tickets. Everybody loves the negative. They want to be the first one to report it. Hey, that's it's like the sexy pick versus the not sexy pick. And the negative shit is always sexy. That don't mean it's right. So that's my closing, man. Just let the kid do his thing, man. Stay off his back a little bit.
Reggie, what do you got for your closing remarks, my friend?
For you on that, Nate. One thing when it comes to these kids, man, you gotta let them live. You gotta let them make mistakes. And he has a good group around him. He has a head coach and a coaching staff that cares about him. So he's gonna be fine. But I'm gonna take it to a little bit of a serious note. Last week I lost a brother to me that was real close to me. Mm-hmm. He had a heart attack. He's 51 years old. And really was one of those things of not if, but when, because his family had the history of heart issues. Mm-hmm. But, I just want to say, if you're sick, if your family has a history, go get checked out. Make sure that you do your due diligence. If you have a family, put them first. Your friends, those that you love, make sure you treat them with love and respect and be there for them. But the main thing too is make sure y'all got life insurance, man. It's a lot of organizations that will do it without you even having to get a physical taken. You can at least have something to make sure that your family. Mm-hmm. I'm in one of those situations because of my weight. A lot of insurance companies won't give you any insurance at all. But I found some people that would. I got coverage for me and my wife and my daughter. Just do the most loving thing. Make sure that everybody's good. Take care of your bodies. Take care of each other. Because you never know, man. Like
Oh,
you never know.
also, bro,
I'm just happy I get to do this with brothers I love and care for, and I get to speak from a platform to reach others. And they don't never mind me doing something like this because we know we care about each other and what's going on. So
exactly.
My heart, my family with the Chris Jackson family. I just love y'all, man. That's all I got to say.
Hey, man, we love you too. But also, hey, listen, what I did was I've got two. Well, now I have three. I've got one life insurance through my credit union. I got one through my job. And I also got one through my car insurance. So with your car insurance, you don't have to have a physical. You don't have to go through all that. So my car insurance is State Farm, and it's $23 a month. And it's rolled into my car insurance. So that's also an extra piece of coverage. So if anybody, if y'all need it, or if you don't know where to get it from, you also look into your car insurance. They are out here. They are willing to cover you now with full coverage life insurance. So that's also huge. And you know, Reg, I love you. We family. We in this together. So hey, it is what it is.
So for my closing remarks, I just kind of want to echo what Nate and Reggie said, and I'm sure Bobby would also say this as well. We greatly appreciate y'all. 41 episodes in, that's crazy. And we don't just do this for us. We do this for everybody that tunes into the show. Whether you watch it the night of, or you watch it 3 days later, or you watch it while you're sitting on the toilet in the morning, I don't really care. You don't have to tell us where you watch from, especially if you're watching it on the toilet. But my point is, we appreciate you. We appreciate you tuning into this program week in and week out, being here with us. Again, 41 episodes. It doesn't happen without y'all. So thank you so much for that. Also, as I always do, I want to thank the guys on the screen and the guy who is not on the screen, probably due to a phone charger issue. But these guys put in so much work week in and week out to give you guys the topics that we talk about. For the last couple months, and it's going to be an ongoing thing for me. My grandfather is not doing well down in Georgia. He's 75, so we kind of expect that, but he has not been doing well for quite some time. And so Nate and Reggie and Bobby, they have helped to prop me up, as brothers do, to make sure that we have topics every single week. And so I just want to thank them for that. That's something they do behind the scenes. They never asked me to thank them for that, but I love them for it. And, again, this show is about more than any one person. And without having the four guys that we have every single week, it ain't the same. So I just want to say thank you to the fellas. Nate, you got your hand raised. I'll have you go, and then I'll close us out.
Yeah, one more thing. Y'all need to go to the store and get some t-shirts. Hey, the On the Hunt t-shirts are there. We got the white one, we got the black one. We got the great Cassandra in the background. She's trying to figure out these coffee mugs. So hey, man, make sure y'all go ahead, buy a t-shirt, man. Hey, we really, 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 really appreciate it. Like you say, like, subscribe, share it. Hey, we're only as good as y'all. So, hey, that's it for me.
All right. So Bobby Bless told me about his internet went down. That's what happened to Bobby in Toledo. So with that being said, hey, for the #1 Lions fan, who wishes he could be right here in this moment with you, Bobby Bless, he says, have a great night. For Nate Rucker, for Reggie Funches, and myself, Elijah Winfrey, I tell y'all this, and I say it every week: be good to yourself, be good to others in that